We've got a brand new Aquascape in the biggest aquarium in our showroom. Keep watching to see how Filipe Oliveira created this Aquascape. Hi, I'm Dave at Aquarium Gardens, and this is our newest Aquascape created by Filipe Oliveira at a workshop here in Aquarium Gardens on Saturday 31st of August. Filipe is an extremely talented aquascaper and created this stunning V-shaped layout for us. It was a really great day, a fantastic workshop, and this video is going to show you footage from the day so you can see exactly how Filipe created it. So keep watching to find out how this aquascape was made, and I hope you enjoy.
This tank we'll try to make it a V-shaped layout. I think it will be nice just to invest the two tanks on the side with a lot of stem plants. Can be like a mix of this one. So that my style, this is not really my style of aquascaping. I like for minimalist things. I'm well known but making the trees, but not the forest, just a single tree. Less elements, more difficult to work. So one way is just to take the magic from one tank, just use more plants, more colorful, more diversity. Okay, we need to use the Hardscape because Hardscape is what stands and keeps the things in balance, but use more plants if possible. So I changed a little bit my style. Also, maybe some of you know about Brazilian style. They use a lot of stem plants, a lot of colors. And the idea to make it something here is a different approach, using more stem plants, more variety, more details. So you look the tank, but you want to understand why. You want to look for the details. Why? Because if you spend more time looking to a tank, it means the details are working on. It's like this one. You have so many elements that work together. So it's a very simple and unique layout with very low demanding plants, but at some point you look to it, you want to know how it was done, because there is a lot of different plants that they combine together. So the idea for this one is just make it something that's not that difficult, so crazy stuff, but make it detailed, look also natural, and use more plants as possible. Okay, so let's bring the wood, Dave. If you are doing something at home, this is why the playgrounds or the sandbox they are used for. So you can just select your wood, you put in a sandbox, you play more or less how you think they will look like in your tank. You take a picture, then you bring it home, and then you can start building it there. Usually I do similar, I just don't use the sandbox. I prefer just to see some wood and say, this maybe will work, start making a puzzle in my head, how the things will work. And this piece of wood, it looks nice for what I want to do. It will take a lot of the tank. I usually don't like to make it so close to the glass because you need to have some maintenance on it, right? So, okay, it was made for here. So far, it's always done. So we just put some maneuvers. It's okay. You don't need to spend all this 4 hours. Finish. No, let's. He asked me for a V shape. So far, the idea was to make something in V. Okay, using stem plants here, going down the same way. For a moment, we have the V shape on the tank. I will just working now on the details, but the two pieces, let's see that they are already here, and we will need to give some details in the mid part. And also, you see that there's a lot of volume here with the wood coming out. In this side, we don't have, because it's too flat. So we need to find something on the middle to give that volume, because the plants will start growing like this. Imagine this, trim it like this. We have this in one side, and if you mirror it, you have in the other one. More or less like this, the idea. This is like playing Tetris, huh? Okay.
Snap!
Don't break it like this. And if you're recording it, say, here's the guy again breaking stuff. Yeah. Seems working, huh? You see? I said I was going to start breaking stuff. Yeah. I will not break it before because he sells this by the weight, so if I take this part, it's only 5 kilos here, so. What I intend to do now with this small piece of wood is just to give a little bit more of detail to the big piece of wood, because this is the focal point, is that the biggest one. So if I just leave it like this, there is less elements on it, so adding those small pieces of wood will give you those tiny details you need. And it's also making what we call the flow, how it works. It comes from here, but then it needs to keep your eyes looking in the different directions, but keeping the flow in the way. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, what do you think so far? Maybe you start thinking, why don't put the soil first? So it doesn't matter. I just want to keep the wood in balance. I want to fix up the rocks on it to fill a little bit the gaps. Then with the foam from the back, you just put it a little bit. The foam will expand between the glass, rock and wood. They keep them down. And at the same time, does not have the space to let the soil come to the front and mix with the sand. So should make a break for the lunch now. Yeah, I'm start filling up the holes. So this will allow it to expand, cover the hole there and attach the wood between them to the glass and to the side rocks. Okay? This hopefully lava rocks will be heavy enough to don't float. Hopefully, because of this one. paintball. This looks more cool. Come here on these holes. Make to expand a little bit there. You hold down and expand outside. Okay? This is also the same color of the rocks. Don't put it too much because always consider that will expand. And it takes around 15 to 20 minutes to dry. So it's faster than silicone. I just wanted to look like this during the workshop. You know. There is so many ways how to do it, so we just need to adapt to one, make the things easier for you. Because, like again, we can tie this using plastic zip ties, wire, but if you can make it easier, because look, I just place it how I want it. Just now I put the foam. As soon as it expands and glue direct the glass into the rocks, this will not moving or floating. If you need to spend the time just to tie them and put everything on place, it's okay, you can get it, but it's much easier because I'm not touching on the hardscape. It's already there. I just bring the foam underneath between the glass and rocks that I put it before. I see here is already expanding. If you don't want it to see like this, you get a razor and you take it off. You will see it. Just let it expand first and let it dry. If you want it just this to stay flush, so you can just get some stick or something like that, you can just press it. Because this is air, so if you press it down, this will disappear. I prefer to keep it like this. And then I can take it with a knife or the razor, or just leave it. Put some moss or some annubies over it. It has more or less the same color of the rocks, you barely see it. Okay? But I just want to be sure that there is no floating pans, wood over here. So let's pour the soil inside, as far as I can see. Still moving a little bit. Hold down. Okay. I think we don't need that much soil. I spent all the budget in rocks and wood, so we save on soil. I'm using this a lot, despite the brand. I also have used these ones in my tanks at home. You have different tabs. You have only potassium. You have only, let's say, macro and micro elements, and you have also iron. You can find all of this maybe in just one root tab. This is a full mix of it. It's up to you to decide what you want to use, okay? For these ones, it's more or less what I fertilize in my tanks. In my tanks, if you saw the video on YouTube, I have a very lean fertilization routines in my tanks. I don't feed them that much. So what I usually prefer to do is to overcharge soil with capsules, because plants will get food and nutrition from roots, but also from the leaves, but 75 to 90% from roots. So all the ants, the ones, the rhizome that we keep glue on the wood and the rocks, they are so low demanding, they grow so slow that even if you give a little bit of nutrition, it's more than enough. So mainly all those medium and fast growing plants, they will need more nutrition. So what I do is put tabs on the soil, plant it, and then I mainly use potassium on my daily or weekly routine of fertilization, because it's the key element. Potassium is also available in nitrogen and in phosphorus. If you want, you can just open it, smash it with a hammer, put it on the area, get off the glass, and then cover with soil. It's up to you. I preferentially use these things. I take the tabs, put it with a tweezer, and stick it on the soil. This will allow you to keep a very lean fertilization routine. So since the plants have all the nutrition on the roots, what are we going to do? 2 or 3 times per week we dose potassium. More or less 20 milligrams of potassium till the end of the week. If you want to do water change, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, doesn't matter, because there is no excess inside. Iron and macros, so when I mean macros, is phosphorus and nitrogen, are interchanged between weeks. If 1 week I dose macros, nitrogen and phosphorus, on the other week I will dose iron. So what I want to do with this, I want the plants to grow slowly. I don't want to trim it every 2 weeks. I want to trim my stem plants every month. So like those stem plants, red ones, they will grow slowly, but they will grow very colorful. A lot of people ask me, what is the secret of having really red plants? And my answer is, don't feed them too much. Nitrogen and phosphorus, I only dose it every next week. Why? Because I want the plants to grow a little bit, but not that much. I don't want them to grow 2 centimeters per day, right? I want them to grow 2-3 centimeters per week and stop. So they jump a little bit and stop, go and stop. So in that time they will stay longer under the light, so they start getting taller. And then you can enjoy your stem plants for longer. Otherwise, every 2 weeks, weeks and a half, you need to trim. So many people was asking why, how. I did a video, and it's already on YouTube, explaining the root tabs and the fertilization routine. If you want to take a look, you just get it there, all the information. We have plants, Dave?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
What would you like?
Bring it on. The idea here is just to play a little bit with the colors. So we can play with reds, orange, green. Okay? I think I will use the green here, because this is a different plant. It's not a rotala. So all the stems and growths will be the same on the sides. And here, let's see how the middle field will work. really fast part because we don't need to use the tweezer. Yeah, the glue works. The idea is just to have, this is a microshowroom, it's a very small one. It tends to be pointing and very short. So here we give, I will put another one. We can see the cryptocoreans, but give a little bit of volume, and then you have all the first approach, and then you have all the red stem black. Pinnatifida. You know what it is? Hygrophila pinnatifida. It's not a rhizome plant. It's also like a stem one, but it tends to grow like by runners. And it can be used as attached to wood or in the soil. It can grow this size tall or to meters an hour. I'm not kidding. In Lisbon scenario we have them really big. So you grow as you wish. If it's time to get tall, trim it close. So the new stem, when it goes on the runner, it goes smaller. This is why, or in vitro or in pot it comes big. You trim it close and you just glue it like this. Or you can put it on the soil. As soon as you start releasing runners and get attached to wood, you can trim it very slow.
What's
very
it
low.
called?
Sorry?
What's it called?
Hygrophila pinnatifida. keeping the Juncus for last. This is just to keep my maintenance high for him. And this is, it gives a really wild look to the area. This is a kind of plant that gets a little bit reddish on the top when it gets a lot of light. It allows you also to make a really nice bush of stem plants. But I like it because it's very versatile. You can keep it alone, or you can keep it mixed with the stem plants. You give that wild look, like we call the wheat in the field.